Good afternoon, President Chartrand.
Well, don't forget we got our own legend, Ray St. Germain.
Oh,
So,
yes. We talked to him a little bit earlier. It was
did you
awesome.
right on? And actually, I think this week we're going to see him, Oliver Bolette and Don.
Oh,
Don,
awesome.
And we're also going to try to make our way to see Edgar Bruce. He might be home by then. I talked to his brother Brian, and so I'm wishing him the best, of course. And diabetes took the best of him, and so I sent flowers on behalf of government. He was a vice president many years ago at one time in the Interlake region. So he did his part fighting for the Métis cause, and I just want to send best wishes to him and his family, and of course say a big hello to his brother Brian. I met him in a store while I was looking at some what do you call those places where they sell cards, hockey cards, and stuff like that. So I happened to stop in there, and he was there, so we said we had a chat. Anyways, there's a climate change meeting going on right now, a very important subject, of course. That's happening in Brandon right now, April 19th and 21st, and over 250 Reverend Métis citizens are there learning about the environment and climate change, and in fact, the theme this year is climate adaptation and resiliency. So really, we need to prepare ourselves. How do we get prepared? As you heard me, I think last Saturday, I spoke quite strongly on this issue. But we have a responsibility, especially as Indigenous people, Métis First Nation. We're seen as people that have great respect for Mother Earth and the environment. So it's important that we have our say and our understanding, but educating ourselves, because sometimes we forget we no longer live in rural towns and grew up with our grandfathers, grandmothers, and my parents teaching us, the very essence of certain roots and medicines and just the water, protecting it, and fish and habitats. So all of these things are so important, and we need to do our part, or else the next generation is not going to have the benefit or actually have a very serious potential of effect to their future. So I sure as hell don't want to see my grandkids affected in a way that it's going to ruin their lives or affect or put them in danger because of my lack of pushing a cause or educating the people or standing strong on a particular issue, especially when it comes to the environment. I know there's still people across this country who are hacks to tax, strategy that comes from the United States. Really, they have this big, when they had the big truck invasion in Ottawa, it comes from a model United States, and of course, United States are their number one Republicans. It's not about the environment, and that's a scary thing. They're one of our biggest neighbors and one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Yes.
But there's a movement abroad out there, and there's a movement here in Canada. You have people still running around, premiers in this country, saying, hacks the tax, take that 3 cents off. And yet you see fuel companies, there's a big article again, Naomi, the fuel jumped up again. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with hacks the tax. It's just the fuel companies being greedy. They're making billions and billions of dollars every year, and they're taking advantage of a political fight in this country where you have Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservatives, blaming the tax. Actually, they call it climate tax, but they call climate policy is what the Liberals call it. But at the end of the day, it's now known better as climate tax because of the media coverage. But at the end of the day, they're pushing. Forget it, cancel it. Let's just save 3 cents on our products at home. And when you do the math, it's not even 3 cents; it's less than a penny on products if they're ever raised. So it's really big corporate industry that's taking advantage of an opportunity.
Absolutely.
You have politicians not hiding them out and not picking them up and putting the blame where it really lies on greedy corporate owners. And it is unbelievable that gas can jump up 14 or 20 cents overnight. And there's a talk of a potential war in the eastern part of our world. Oh, gas got to go up. And what happened? And there's no war. They don't bring it down the next day either.
No.
So it really is, honestly, when you look at numbers, I'm talking like Exxon, everyone, Esso, Shell, they have made billions right now. They're making billions and billions and billions for their shareholders, and they're taking advantage of it. And of course, everybody right now is blaming the government of Canada. It's their fault. It's not their fault, because every time they find a cutting, even the premier say 14 cents for us, and you got to give kudos to the premier of Manitoba, Wapkiano. But what does happen? The gas goes up.
Yeah.
So really, no matter what the governments are doing, with even Wapkiano trying to help us as people in Manitoba, the gas. One time we should take a massive protest against the gasoline companies. We should quit driving our vehicles just for 1 week. All of us, all of us. I'm like, I have a plan together of all Canadians. And I guarantee you'll see that prices drop. They will be panicking because the shareholders will be scared. Because, there was a time when people quit using the tax. You remember when COVID was there?
Yeah.
They couldn't sell their gas. You see how the prices was dropping like crazy?
Yeah.
The gas was practically free. I couldn't believe the numbers I was seeing in front of me. Numbers I've never saw over 20 years because they couldn't get rid of their gas. Nobody was driving anymore. So, it just really shows you how quick they can change numbers. And if they want to help the customer and help Canadians, they easily can bring down those prices. They don't have to raise them because there was a talk of Israel and Iran going to war and the full-scale war. So right away, the price got up. And now they're saying, well, we have to rejig our gasoline for summertime. So, I heard Ford from Ontario say something very important, saying, well, you mean that's new gas or is that still the old gas? And so you're charging new prices for the whole gas that you already paid for at a lower price.
Yeah.
So they're catching all these gas companies, all their lies and their corruption. So this environment conference that's happening right now, we're teaching our people about what's happening out there, how the climate change is really affecting. And right now we only have one climate plan. And that's as I said, people call it climate after tax, but it's a climate policy. It's the only policy we have in this country where we're making the bigger companies pay a bigger price and the lower income and middle class, especially our people, Métis and First Nations, we're a big benefactor to getting a rebate. And we're talking in the billions. So that rebate's right across this country. And at the end of the day, the ones that are pushing the politicians, especially the Conservatives, to fight this fight is big companies, big oil and food companies like Loblaws. You look at it, all these big stores, Safeway, they're making billions on our situation right now when it comes to climate. So again, kudos to all those people working for us at the conference, and keep it up and educate our youth about the difference we make. And even me, I know it changed me. Trust me, I know it changed me. When I'm walking in the office today and I see a piece of paper on the ground or something, I pick it up and I put it in the blue bin. Mm-hmm. Sometimes before I used to walk right by it, and now I was at the store the other day getting something, and I seen a empty water bottle. So I went to walk. Somebody threw it out in the parking lot. I got up, went out of the vehicle, and got it, picked it up, and put it in a box. So when you look at it, so I know it's changing me to be smarter and do my part, and it could be the smallest thing is picking up a few bottles in the ground and putting it in the proper place. Imagine if 1 million people pick up a bottle, mm-hmm. 1 million bottles. So you start looking at there's so much things we can do differently, and the way we do things at home. And you don't have to have your car running that long. You can shut it off, so less carbon garbage into the air. So there's so different many things. So I think Joanne Remillard, of course, the minister, and Associate Minister Peter Fleming was hosting this meeting in Brandon. I think all of our people are there, again, learning, participating, recommending, and moving forward on our agenda of what we're going to do to help on climate change. But let's educate people strongly out there that don't buy into this tax bullshit. That is a bullshit line. It's really, if you stop fighting climate, our kids are going to pay a price, I'm telling you. And we are obviously going to pay a price, but I hope we're still going to live myself out another 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
And the climate is going to be affected even worse now. And our regulars, Alberta's the biggest fighter right now. Now they're all panicking they don't have water. And they're trying to make water deals right now in Alberta. They don't have water.
Yeah.
And there's talk about forest fires starting in Alberta already. And that's the same premier running around, Daniel Smith, saying, "Tell the tax. You're hurting our people by 3 cents, raising in 5 years is 60 cents, but right now it's only 3 cents. So, but here's the same people who are saying, forget the climate change and let's just work on making sure we have 3 cents saving in our food. It doesn't make sense. There's no logic. And so, as I say, these people, it's all about politics. It's not about the future of our people. So I'll keep on speaking on this issue over and over, and I'll speak anywhere in public on this issue because I think it's such a pressing issue for today's generation and next generation. We had a leadership council meeting. I didn't participate. I was en route. I'm in DePaul right now. Mm-hmm. But I want to thank, of course, my minister. She was there. I'm one of yours. And Francis, Minister of Health, represented Anita's under the weather right now. So send your prayers and best wishes to Anita right now. She's doing okay. She's texting me regularly, telling me her updates. She met with her doctor. She got some antibiotics, and she's got to stay in home and rest. But they had a very good meeting with, of course, Minister of Family Services, Naomi Fontaine. And, of course, the other Grand Chiefs were there, Chief Garrison Settee and Jerry Daniels. And as an observer status, Kathy Merrick was there from AMC. So it was good to have a dialogue on the future of where Child and Family Services is going. And as everybody knows from the Métis side, we're going on Bill 92, which is a federal bill, a legislation, and which is now in law. And Quebec challenged it, and they lost in the Supreme Court of Canada, and where it allows us to create our own laws, run our own agencies based on the laws that really affect our people, based on our people's vision, what their laws should look like. And that's really, like I said, taking out the clause of permanent words and making sure that our children never can be stolen from us again. So these are important aspects, and we're getting ready. We anticipate we may get some good news from federal Canada in June that the signing will take place, and the MMF will get its first, as the Métis for sure, of the West, leading the charge. As usual, the MMF has always been ahead of most of everyone, and we'll be leading the charge on getting the Bill 92 attached, where the federal government and the Métis government will now transfer the total responsibility of Child and Family Services to the MMF and our agency. So I look forward to that day, and it's coming closer. But again, thank you, Mona, and thank you for all the work you guys are doing on there. And of course, our team, they worked hard, whether it's our agencies or authority. We've worked very, very hard to make a difference and run an agency. And it's well known our agency is a well-oiled machine. It's doing a very, very good job of taking care of our children and doing the best we can with what little resources. We're underfunded. I spoke to the Minister Nahani. When the concerns were there, they shortchanged us $7 million on the change they made to the structure. And so we're going to be discussing this with the province. I hope I don't have to go to court to fight them because really the previous government left us in a bad state, and not only us, some First Nations. So we'll deal with that in a short while, and Naomi and I have agreed to a meeting. So we'll sit down and have a discussion on how we can deal with that particular issue. But speaking of Child and Family Services, I know there's still people out there asking, when are we going to get our check for Child and Family allowance money was taken from us? And, well, let me tell you, we have to wait for the judge to approve it in September is when the date is. We're looking September right now. In the meantime, you'll be seeing advertisements going out in newspapers and articles and radio advising our citizens, those that are under our agencies, that what's happening, the structure, based on the system, the courts. We got to wait till September when they give the option for everyone if they want to stay within the opportunity to take the deal or opt out and go on their own deal. And so that option is there for people. If they say, well, no, I don't want that. I want more. I want to sue for more damages. Then that's their right to do so. And they will opt out, and the rest will continue with their settlement. So, but and we anticipate we should get clearance from the government, from the courts in September. And we'll be, in the meantime, we're not going to be sitting waiting starting September. Right now, actually, we're setting up the structure, how we're going to get payments out, hiring the team, hiring an external body that will work with us, setting up bank accounts, planning of having people with bank that know how to set up bank accounts quickly, making sure there's no taxation against this, making sure there's no social challenge that will come. And I gave an example, say an 18-year-old now or 22-year-olds living with their parents, when they reunite with their parents and their parents are on welfare. A lot of times the social service agencies used to look at other income in the house, and they punish the family. So we're making sure this is not going to be the case on this money. This money was robbed from them, and this money will go to them as like an inheritance more than anything, and it will be not taxable. And at the same time, we're making sure the province can't come and penalize the person later and saying, well, you got to pay this because you're living in that house over there, which already has a set rent rate. So anyways, those are a lot of little tiny things you got to watch here because you don't want our kids to be burnt by some other policy outside of our control. So that's what's happening for people listening about the child social allowance money. It is coming. September, the court should give us the clearance. But when you see ads coming in, you'll know, get your name registered. If you know somebody that was in the care of First Nation or Métis Child and Family Services, whether they're First Nation, Métis, or Inuit, we have some non-Indigenous too that was with us. They too will be entitled to it. And so we are actually, as I said, putting that out. Get a hold of our offices. It's from 2005 to 2019. And just phone in, get your name in there where we can find you. And then we'll contact you for sure come September. and tell you when we could start to order and issue the payments that were owed to you that were robbed from you. And as I said, some is going to be quite substantial. Some will be over $50,000 and even more. So, again, I look forward to that day, and I'm sure to smile in many, many faces. There'll be thousands of young people smiling, and hopefully we'll give them the advice and wisdom to spend their money right. But again, they're adults, and we'll try our best. But to me, they're still kids, always will be. I treat my daughter, she's 38 now. I still treat her like a kid. So just the way I am, I'm a very protective parent. And the same thing with my son. So, again, federal budget. I was asked by Cowboy, what do you think about the federal budget? I was asked by the CBC and News, how do I rate it? From A to F. Mm-hmm. I rated it as a B. I said there's quite a sprinkle of investments everywhere. I know people would like to see more, but we're still receiving in the Indigenous people, especially First Nation, it'll be in the billions and billions of dollars of new money that's going out. And so it's a big spend compared to what used to be in the older days. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's sprinkled everywhere. It's in policing, it's in health, it's in governance, it's different process. Housing is a big one. So there's great opportunity still sitting there. It's how we utilize that fund and spend wisely. And I gave the perfect example. And one of the things I'm so proud of in our government, when we started the first-time homebuyer program, mm-hmm. It only cost us close to $3 million, and we had 1,000 families buy their houses. 1,000 families, and they're still looking. There's still more coming. So it didn't. If I had to build, just imagine you had to build 1,000 homes.
Yeah.
Do the math. A house today is about $400,000 to build, depending on size. So do the math. You're talking about $400 million. So and it only took me and my government $3 million, Minister of Housing, good on, to put the plan together, and our people came in and showed that just give me that little lift, and the rest is up to me. And so, it's how you spend the money and how we move forward. But clearly, at the end of the day, there's great opportunity for us there. I was quite pleased about the capital corporations. Our Low Rail Capital Corporation will get some extra money to help our businesses. And we have, I was meeting with my executive director of economics, Lauren Pelche. There's over 600 businesses that have registered, close to 700 already, that have registered Métis businesses in Manitoba. We're having a meeting in May, a gathering, and we're going to be honoring some of the businesses. And I look forward to that. I'll report on that next Saturday. Kath, if you're listening, make sure you give me the dates, location, how business can register and come to the event, or if citizens want to come to the event, how they can get, if there's possibility to get tickets to get to it. But it's going to be a great pride moment for us to see so many businesses and honor them at the same time with awards. And we're looking at how do we best serve them. How does the Métis government best serve our businesses? How do we coordinate ourselves to make sure we're buying from our businesses? So you look forward to seeing how that impact will make such a big difference to our businesses. And we have businesses in all varieties. And it's something, again, Métis has been always entrepreneurial, and we look forward to doing our part to make sure that we help the business as much as we can. So again, I'll give the federal budget a B, because I think it's not an A. I think it should have been more distinct based, so there's no separation or no fight between us or First Nation or Inuit. We know it's funding we can attach ourselves to and go after and start setting the plan. There'll be some additional housing money to us. It's not much, but it's enough. Trust me. I'm not one to I could pound the table and say no, I need more. Of course, everybody needs more, and I'm not opposed to people arguing to get more.
Yeah.
I support that. I know their positions and the hardships they face. But at the same time, what I look for is my mom taught me this. Always look for positive. She used to teach us that, and so to tell us, not to be jealous. We can't go away, Ken. Don't be jealous of anybody else. And so the point for us is that, and I've been raised to think positive in the sense I find it. And so when I look at this additional funding, I'm not going to be able to build 100 homes with it, but I could definitely make a change to some people's lives. And make a change to the contractors to make sure Métis contractors, First Nation contractors are working for us and building them. So there's opportunities there which they get jobs, they go buying houses and so forth and so forth. So we're looking for the positive in whatever funding we get our hands on, and we'll see how far we can take it and how best we can help our people. So, at the end of the day, my biggest worries, and I've said this over and over, and I want people that are listening on the show to think about this carefully. I've never seen so much money attributed to the Indigenous people in this country. Never. And I've been president for 27 years. I've never seen that kind of money that the government of Canada has issued to us to manage ourselves, to change the lives of so many, which we have. We have upcoming 25th year of our unemployment training program that's upcoming. And that's happening. I don't have it in my calendar date here. I wish I did. And clearly, at the end of the day, when you look at that, Naomi, I think we impacted at least 40,000 people in 25 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of them got jobs. They got professional careers. Some are lawyers, some are plumbers, some are carpenters, and some are truck drivers, all kind of fields. And I think John Furry, our minister, that's been on this file, leading it for so long, I think Carrie, Tracy, and the rest of the team is listening. If they are listening, they've done such an exceptional job of making a big difference. And that one program caused all that change. And it wasn't like billions given to us. It was only, I think we had 1/3 of the funds in Manitoba. First Nation got 2/3 based on the negotiation that happened before my time. But clearly, at the end of the day, we still made such a massive difference. We're rated the best in Canada out of the, I think there's 160 now or more. ARDA holders, asset holders, I call them ISET holders now. You want changing the damn name. But at the end of the day, it means the same thing. At the end of the day, you get that money, you partner with private sector, you get target wage subsidy, you pay the private sector to employ some people, train them, but guarantee jobs. Or else you help them in school, get their certifications. Like Child and Family, we have child care. We have hired 150 every now and then in child care.
Wow.
And we're going to build, I think, 7 more that Minister Chartrand is building. Mm-hmm. There'll be another 150 employees there. There'll be 300 employees. 300.
That's amazing.
I know, and they're all getting certified.
Not to mention all of those child care spots that are going to be out there for families who are working.
1,000 spots, Naomi, 1,000 spots. So I'm so proud of our minister there, and the work they're doing there is just amazing work. And again, we have a lot of our Métis, First Nation, and of course non-Indigenous companies that are bidding and building these things for us. And we're building them right across Manitoba, and we're making such a big difference to the single parent family or the family that both got to work and need a babysitter and need a daycare center. So again, these small things, if done right, can make such a big change, a big impact. But it takes 18 months to get a certification. Don't forget, we helped the Ukrainians when they moved here from after the invasion of Russia. There's, I think, 18 of them right now in the program. Mm-hmm. They'll all be graduating, and they'll be all guaranteed jobs that are with the MMF government. So because I don't know if when they'll ever go home, if they can ever go home, and if they go home, what are they going home to? There's nothing left. So It's going to be a scary thing for the Ukrainian people, and of course, we're closely affiliated and supported with the Ukrainians. Now, I got a few more minutes, and I want to say, I don't know, many of you have heard what has happened to Métis Nation Saskatchewan. They've withdrawn on Bill 53, which we fight vigorously and hard against. It's Ontario bringing in all those fake Métis, those stealing our identity by, the future will be hundreds of thousands of them. And of course, the First Nations have spoken strongly against that, Ontario, and unanimously supported that across the 600 chiefs in Canada. And so we're having actually a conference hosted by Ontario First Nations and the Métis government. It'll be in Winnipeg on May 14, 15, Identity Fraud Summit. We're talking about, this. We can't just forget this. Even if Bill 53 dies now, because Saskatchewan just pulled out and saying, look, Ontario, you're holding us up, and Alberta, you're holding us up because they lost a court case too, Alberta, that their self-government agreement can't go ahead the way it's written. So by the courts, they've ruled against them. So when you look at it again, it's going to cause change. But one of the challenges I do see for Saskatchewan, how can you still be part of MNC? If you're going to go stand alone and negotiate your own, and how can you be supporting MNC, which you sit at that same table, supporting Ontario? And you know the position of all the First Nations in Canada, including Saskatchewan First Nation. So they stand united against these fake people stealing identity of First Nations and Red River Métis. So Saskatchewan's going to have to make a choice. So I'm sure they'll be pulling out of MNC. That would be the wisest thing for them to do, to stand alone and fight for themselves, because I'm sure they'll get their self-government and treaty. Now, let me say some good well wishes, and first let me start off to say congratulations to Gabrielle Wishart. Kevin Wishart's daughter was the coach of the Team Manitoba's U16 male volleyball squad, and recently earned Sports Manitoba's Coach of the Year award. Ooh, good for you, Gabrielle.
Awesome.
Yeah, and tonight I'm going to a social event. Derek and Candy is having a pre-wedding social. They came out, they're both from, well, Derek, of course, from Cranberry. Candy is from South Indian, and they wanted to host their event here in the north at the Métis Hall. It's happening tonight. There'll be a massive silent auction, and people want to come in and buy their tickets, and if they can't stay, they'll leave their tickets behind, and hopefully they'll win some big prizes. That's a beautiful prize. I'm very impressed with the amount of silent auction they've been able to gather. Now, I'll have the birthdays now going out to people. Happy birthday is going to go out to Edgar Johnson, Secretary for the Winnipeg North Local. We'll celebrate her birthday Friday, April 19th. Happy birthday again, Heather. Happy 79th birthday to former Winnipeg Region MMF Cabinet Minister Claire Riddle. Very good friend of mine. And Claire, I hope you're listening. Big hug to you from me and Glor and the family. Claire has always been fighting, and she was, of course, on our cabinet for many, many years. So she retired, and she worked for the government at the end of the day and retired. So the President's office sent fruit and snack baskets and a card. And I'm sure Claire knows I got to send her a private gift. She knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so happy 56th birthday is going to Liz Kelly, MF IT Department, who's celebrating her birthday today, Saturday, April 20th. And happy first birthday is going to Kyra, Buggy Danielson's granddaughter. So happy first birthday, Kyra. Happy 11th birthday is going out to Emerson Tafor. I hope I'm saying it right. Norman Ecker, a large grandson, who was celebrating his birthday on Sunday, April 21. Again, Emerson, happy 11th. Happy 64th birthday is going to Ronald Sanderson. Of course, that's my daughter's father-in-law, John Sanderson's father, who celebrated his birthday on Monday, April 22nd. And Ronald, of course, is going through some diabetes and health challenges. And best wishes, send prayers out to him. But at the same time, best wishes and happy birthday to Ronald. And he's a damn good man if you ever talk to him. His big heart, and his wife goes to so many funerals, praying and singing. I have so much respect for her. Happy 50th birthday going to Kat Patno, celebrating her birthday on Friday, April 50th birthday. She doesn't look a day over 51. So anyways, happy birthday, Kat. Condolences is going out also. I had a chance, the privilege to say personal condolences to Gail. Her mom died yesterday.
I've seen that.
And then she came. Just imagine this: the panic you had yesterday. Of course, that's Ken Danielson's wife.
Yeah. One
of your big fans.
Yeah.
And they were here, stopped here for a second to say hi on their way out. Of course, that's his son getting married here and having a social event, Derek Danielson. Oh. And he had a flat tire, just this big giant hole in the tire. And then there's no place open in the paw. And we struggled like hell to try to figure out how do we help him to get to the funeral, or they're arranging a funeral for his mother-in-law and Gail's mom. And so I was quite worried. I tried every place possible in the paw, nothing. Swan River, they closed at 12, nothing's there. So we got fortunate to have Cal Tire, a guy named Kim and Cal Tire, out in Dauphin. Thank him for that, and they're gonna help him with his tires out there. So hopefully he'll make it there safely again. But again, my condolences go to the family and the loss of their loved one. So again, I'm hoping I can go next week to see our legend, Ray Saint Germain, and I want to bring Oliver there with his fiddle to play a couple tunes for him. And then I'm going to try to pop in and see and check on Edgar Bruce. And the Met Gala is April 25th, by the way. Next Thursday, it's happening somewhere in Winnipeg. They don't even tell me where. So somewhere in Winnipeg, I just got Gloria was tracking down the information, but it's happening, and there's going to be a lot of people, I'm sure, there. And if not, this is one of the best programs that came out of Canada. It's not only for us, but for First Nation Inuit. It's changed the life of tens of thousands of Indigenous people in this country. And I do worry about the future governments as they try to cut this program. I know one time I was told directly from the Conservatives that this program was going to be tendered. It would be taken away from us as Indigenous people, and we'd have to tender it against non-Indigenous people to run it. And yet, the reason we're running it failed miserably under their watch when they ran it. So again, thank you, John and Kerry. And this is all the way from the beginning. Kerry's been there all the way through. So again, I'll be there on the 25th and somewhere there. And thank you again, Tracy, and all the rest of the team. I know I'll be there. I don't know where I'm going to be. They didn't give me the location, and in case students listening wanted to go, check with the MMF. They'll tell you where. Check with Met Department. They'll tell you where. If a student wants to go there and say, look what I did, look where I'm from. So, and look at my career, where I am today. So take care. Thank you for inviting me, Cowboy. I'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.